Tears for the Tear God, Salt for the Salt Throne, and Gas the Leaf Tribe.
You know, all this time I had absolutely no idea that Antifa meant anti-fag. Just never occurred to me. It's astounding the things you can learn on the internet. Antifa Wonton Removal Service. Yeah, there you go. You like that one? Now I can see how it would be very easy for someone so inclined to twist what I just said into me being homophobic and me being racist against Asians. Meanwhile, that same person might likely defend a bunch of pussy little middle-aged white guys who, with no jobs, putting on makeshift armor and masks and going out into the street and beating up a gay Asian reporter, and saying that's not homophobia and that's not racism because they're doing it in the name of anti-fascism. You see, Andy No is a Nazi. All right, see, he's conservative enough to not be one of us. So he's a white supremacist. So, you know, since his speech, therefore, is violence against, you know, whoever, by the transitive property, then violence becomes speech. So they're actually just exercising their right to free speech in a public place by beating a gay Asian man until he's been hospitalized. I can't read their minds, but I would bet that that's the thought process. Like, it's getting really hard to maintain a sense of humor through shit like this. It's
Hear the song of Slanesh. Hear this dirge and despair.
Where to begin? How about some choice polls off Twitter? So, oh, look, here's a happy virtue signaling rainbow flagget. Azure. So just to be sure, are the ER doctors there to repair the minor bruise or the dandruff? Actually, he's been admitted to the hospital overnight as a result of a brain bleed. Yes, he was beaten so hard that he is bleeding in the brain. Now, that's... Maybe I'm taking it a little personally because that's the thing that killed my dad and my uncle and some other of my relatives have, you know, are at high risk for this kind of thing, killing them. And Tim Pool brought this up, and I've said it before. It's possible to kill a person by punching them in the head. Right? Amazing how tough humans can be and how ridiculously fragile we are at the same time. Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to pull it out. Yeah, you don't need the sound. You just need to see it. Yeah, here we go. So, it's just milkshakes, bruh. It's just, oh yeah, there it is. The blind side right. Right across the eye. Oh, look, silly string and a milkshake. Haha, what a loser. Of course, they've already been hitting him a number of times. It wasn't just that one hit. He got kicked during the video. And they're still following him and whipping shit at the back of his head. Now, I don't care if it's just a milkshake. If the milkshake weighs half a pound and you whip it at the back of his head, you could do serious damage to a person. It's insane what these idiots will justify. And they do justify it over and over again. I want to... Here you go. This idiot. Just a reminder that Andy No was the author of the massively Islamophobic WSJ article which claimed there was Sharia law in Tower Hamlets because he saw an alcohol restricted sign. So, don't feel bad, guys. Don't feel bad about the violence because he said a thing I didn't like. You know, I imagine it had more to do than just an alcohol restricted sign. Maybe it was the idea that there's a bunch of young Muslim men who put on these reflective vests that say Sharia police on them, and they go patrolling the streets of London and yelling at women for not having their hair covered, and people for being gay, and for drinking in fucking England. I gotta catch my breath on one. You may have noticed that this is from the hashtag Antifa terrorists on Twitter. And, man, it's just fucking hilarious if you can maintain your sense of humor. Here's Caroline Orr saying, I suppose now that Antifa terrorists is trending, it may be a good time to remind you that the far right has been spreading disinformation about Antifa and manipulating Antifa-related social media hashtags, search algorithms, etc. for years. Yes, she's absolutely right. They've been spreading disinformation since way back at the Battle of Berkeley when people were posting video of Antifa violence without comment. That's disinformation for sure. Manipulating Antifa-related social media hashtags. Now, I will admit this is not my bag, but I have seen people arguing in those hashtags, having a difference of opinion. So if that's manipulation, then yes, she's right again. And the search algorithms, my God, big tech has been so conservative forever that they just have the power to manipulate these searches and these search algorithms that everyone is pro-Trump and nobody thinks that conservatives are Nazis. And my God, they've taken down so much left-wing content that Project Veritas did a video about it and Google was so embarrassed they had to pull it down. Oh, now I want you to remember that first pic I showed you about the minor bruise. Because that idea that, oh, Antifa's bad at violence is sort of a theme. How many people has anyone associated with the Antifa movement killed? 0, according to former FBI agent Michael German. What were you saying about Antifa terrorists, says Caroline Orr, responding to her own fucking tweet? Fucking asshole. You know, in the Battle of Berkeley, I saw an unconscious man face down on the pavement and an Antifa piece of shit wearing his mask hit him over the head with a shovel while he was unconscious. And as far as I know, nobody's followed up on that. And if they did, it received no attention. It was not spread around the internet. It was not covered by legacy media. So I have no idea the fate of that man. So was he killed? Who knows? Who knows? But, you know, this former FBI agent, he's not counting it, so sure. I see Antifa terrorists is trending. They must have killed people. They must have. Oh, they got milkshakes on people? They use silly string? I'm going to need you to look up terrorists. Sure, no problem, AV, I got you covered. Terrorist. Noun. A person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. That's right, intimidation. You don't have to kill anybody, AV. You don't even have to hurt anybody. The threat of violence in the pursuit of your political aims is enough to make you a terrorist. What else have we got? Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is the fun one. All of the extremist killings in the U.S. in 2018 had links to right-wing extremism, according to a new report. Now, 2018 is a cherry-picked year, and I'm not entirely sure that it's true, but we'll circle back to that. Antifa terrorist is what you say when you're a right-winger who refuses to acknowledge that conservatives have always been the terrorists. Well, this is, I want to say just wrong, but it's not. It's beyond that. It's stupid. To suggest that terrorism is conservative, or that conservatism is terrorism, you can't just be willfully ignorant, because there's no way that even if you had a below average IQ, there's no way you would believe that other people are going to believe that. You have to be stupid to try to make such a statement, because you have to believe it. You have to be so stupid as to believe that conflation. It is ridiculous. God. It's a lot easier to cherry pick the U.S. in 2018 for right-wing caused deaths versus left-wing caused deaths. It becomes far easier when people who did manage to kill people for political reasons, you just dismiss their social media where they hate Trump and they hate the right wing and they hate Republicans and they, and you just brush it off to the side because they targeted certain groups of people. Like if they target gays or they target Muslims, you can easily try and twist it into the right wing. But what's really funny is that Muslims targeting gays is still seen as right wing, but it's not seen as Muslim. So, and guess what? All Muslim terrorism is right wing. It's hyper conservative and authoritarian, because basically to make the conservatives authoritarian, all you have to do is add religion. Look at some of the religious right and how stupid that gets from time to time. But Islam is basically that. And it ain't fucking pretty. Authoritarianism ain't pretty. But this idea that some left-wing activist took his rifle out to a Republican baseball game and shot up a whole bunch of people, but he didn't kill anyone, so there were no deaths. Now, I don't actually remember if that was 2018 or the year before, but it doesn't matter. Going by that, again, they're not just dismissing, they're dismissing the violence based on ineptitude. Okay, and to dismiss violence based on ineptitude is basically to say that it's okay that your 4-year-old child goes around and punches whoever the fuck they want because they're only 4 and they can't actually cause anyone any harm. And that's wrong. That is so wrong that it is stupid. It is the stupidest fucking thing, because it doesn't matter that it's true that a 4-year-old is not likely to cause serious harm to anyone. You have to nip that behavior in the bud, because it's a situation that will not end well. The 4-year-old will either continue to do this as they grow into a larger person, stronger person, and practicing their violence will become better at that violence, at which point you will have a violent toddler trapped in an adult's body. No good. Or that toddler will unknowingly find themselves striking a fucking maniac who has absolutely no problem stomping a 4-year-old into a puddle of goo, because how fucking dare they? They don't give a shit that the 4-year-old can't actually hurt them. They're just looking for an excuse. No fucking good. No fucking good. And then to justify the violence as opposed to dismiss it because of that ineptitude. All right? Oh, well, throwing a milkshake it's nothing. Punching a Nazi is not nearly as bad as a Nazi driving a car into a bunch of people. You can't. No. I don't care that your milkshake activism is nothing more than milquetoast terrorism. It's still fucking terrorism. And you're justifying terrorism because you agree with the political end. It's ridiculous. It is beyond stupid. Get your fucking shit together. Yeah. Oh, it's just a bunch of milquetoast pansy-ass little bitches who can't actually do any harm, so let them be actual terrorists. No. Their father should have smacked them. Jesus Christ. Then they'd be stronger people now, and they wouldn't be pulling shit like this. God, because it's never just milkshakes. Eventually, it never was. It started harder, and the milkshakes are just a good excuse for continued violence. But you can see in that video, milkshakes with cement in them, maybe. And, blind right crosses and kicking a guy while he's got fucking milkshake and cement in his eyes. Oh, yeah, and of course, the other guy. Right, but nobody mentioned him. You know why? Because he didn't have a camera. He's not a gay Asian, and it's Pride Month, so fuck the straight white guy. You're all fucking...
Let the sanity be our song.
relevant links to shit I said in the description. Maybe. I'm Irving Twin. Like, subscribe, or don't. It's a free country. At least it used to be.
They would silence us?